Welcome to Brothers King Media, where we view eternity through the lens of art. My name is Samuel.
And I'm Farley.
And I'm Chris.
Yes.
Hey, Chris, welcome back.
Well, technically, is it welcome back since it's been revamped?
Maybe, I don't know.
Not really
It's
welcome
been
back.
too long, I feel like.
Yeah, because the other one got obliterated.
Well, it still exists.
It still exists,
The files
but it's been
exist on
obliterated.
YouTube.
We're just revamping like our youth group name.
Sure.
We cannot talk about personal or private
It's not really private.
things here.
It's not private.
Well, it's personal.
Well, neither here nor there. All right, let's go ahead and we'll jump right into our first segment of the day. The Hot Christian Songs Billboards chart. What's number one, Solomon?
Oh, Hillsong Worship.
No, actually.
Oh, wait, number one isn't... Yeah, that's still Lauren Daigle.
Lauren Daigle is still number one.
Really?
Number two is still For King and Country.
Yes, who I get to
And
see
we
this
are
Friday,
now
and I'm
here-
super excited.
You lucky son of a gun.
I know.
And we're going to go with number three, which is Hillsong Worship. And what is it? I am who you say I am.
I am who you say. We have sunk to number three, Solomon.
We have sunk to actual legitimate worship music.
Yes.
Whereas the first two, not so much like something you'd sing in a youth service.
Yes, this is when when you hear us be old and complain about today's modern music, this is the kind of songs we're
This
talking about.
is the precipice upon which we build every hate.
Every complaint.
Complaint. We'll use that word. Every complaint that we have made about worship music in the past year. And further, in the times that you have not heard us over the radio.
Yes.
Or podcast, not radio.
You know, over the speakers.
Yeah, over the speakers.
So let's go ahead and start with the positive. Chris, what do you think of this
Chris,
song?
come on, man. You're the
say,
only hope.
you are who you say I am.
I am
I
who
thought
you
it was
say
really
I am.
good. I listened to it for a straight week before our youth convention. What are you making that face for?
I'm sorry. I can't get with
All right,
it.
just
No,
go on.
it was really good. I liked the rhythm. It was a different song for me, you know.
What rhythm? The one that dun 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 dun. It's not really a rhythm.
I'm sorry, but he's used to rock music from like
The
when
80s
Okay.
when music was real.
All right, Solomon, give him a chance.
I'm sorry.
Give him a
He
chance.
can't-
I'm
he
sorry.
Can't come to the front where it's like
You gotta
the
hold me
music
back.
of now.
All right,
He's
so-
still stuck
Oh,
back there.
Chris, tell us about the...
He's still stuck back there.
the music
Anyway.
of the music of now. The music of now. That's the problem with the music. Is because it's not. It's not what it's supposed to be. People have changed it to become something that it is not.
I mean, I'm all for change if it's
Yeah,
positive.
If it's positive, but what has been positive?
All right, so, well, if you would shut up, let's
Whoa,
hear...
whoa! Strong language for a podcast.
Sorry,
friend.
my apologies. We'll try to keep it more Christian. That was a bit harsh.
We gotta keep this rated P. Wait, rated G.
Rated like G+, like G-. I don't know.
No, it's gotta be minus because this is very Christian. This has to be able to compete with the VeggieTales.
Okay, I'll accept. I mean, they totally had Monty Python jokes in VeggieTales.
It was terrible.
And
I loved it, but it was terrible. Looking back. Yeah.
Neither here nor there. All right, so you like the rhythm.
I liked the whole song. I liked everything about it. You know, all the. See, you know, he just.
I'm sorry.
All right,
you
just
just
give
gotta
it the best
keep
shot.
talking.
Keep going.
You gotta keep talking. It's hurt. It's painful. Keep talking.
All right, you just leave the room. Shut
You're
up.
the guest. No.
All right, so what do you like about the song, Chris?
The lyrics the most. Who
No,
you say?
okay,
Who
I can
you
get with
say?
that.
I can come with the.
I can get that.
the
I
title of the
am
song.
who you say I am.
Yeah,
That's
that.
good stuff.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. The title, you know.
The lyrics I will give you are very good for a worship song. What I'm contrasting right now is that the music is just the same as everything else. What made it so special? Because the lyrics, really, did the lyrics make it special? It's like a legitimate question. I'm
No,
not aiming no hatred towards you.
No, I was just thinking about, you know, how the song went and how like it can be stuck in your mind, you know, and how like, you know, it's hard to make songs some days these days. You know how it can, like with Queen. I know it's not a Christian band, but like with Queen, their songs just stuck in your mind because like there's a rhythm there. There's a poetry kind of, you know, with those songs.
I gotcha. Okay, so I mean, no doubt, you know, that it is definitely an earworm song. Solomon, help me out. You are the musician in the room.
The music sucks. There's
no. Stick with me.
Oh, okay. And how dare you compare them to Queen? I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in no longer.
Okay, as far as earworms, the popular theory goes, if it's an earworm, it probably uses 3 out of 4 of the pop chords.
Bro,
does this use
it barely, yeah.
Does it use at least 2 of the pop chords?
I mean, this is why I need to start bringing my acoustic guitar, so we could actually, make this a part of it. But yes, it most certainly does. In fact, it's the whole 1, 4, 6, 5 thing. 1, 5, 6, 4 thing.
Is that the song?
Yeah, well, they were playing it in the key of G. That's the
Okay.
original key. And it's actually, 6 minor. So it's like 6, 1, 2, yeah. It's got the basic chords, man.
I mean, you play those pop chords, they will get stuck in your head. It's proven
it's a
time
proven
and time
fact.
again.
That's okay. I'm just gonna say that is why the Beatles songs are stuck in our head.
Yeah.
The lyrics sometimes don't make sense. I'm worried. I grew up with my dad telling me, "Oh, they're talking about drugs." Yellow Submarine. It's a submersible, son. It's yellow. It's in a bottle. It submerses into your throat. It's a drug. No, Dad, it's not. It's a yellow submarine that they all live in.
Yes.
It's a dream. Okay?
Yeah.
But yes, it's got that progression. And I could see how that could get stuck in your head. Kind of like the sound of an axe going across the chalkboard.
I don't think the lyric... I find it interesting you think the lyrics are the most interesting part. I'm not overly impressed by the lyrics.
Are you overly impressed by the music?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, stick with me.
No, I'm hoping because I'm more impressed by the lyrics than the music, even though the lyrics do not impress me that much.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I think of good songwriting lyrics for worship music, I think of stuff like stuff David Crowder Band wrote. I mean, we did 6 months worth of how good their lyrics were.
Exactly.
I think of even John Mark McMillan wrote some great lyrics.
Yeah.
But
same 4 chords.
Well, John Mark McMillan, I don't know about that, but...
The one that we know.
And then I even think of even Rin Collective writes some interesting lyrics. But let's just compare this. Let's go back to the basics. Let's compare these lyrics. So what's the lyrics to this song? I'm forgiven, not forsaken.
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me?
Okay.
That's all I know.
I'm going with the bridge. I'm forgiven, not forsaken.
Chosen, not forsaken.
I am a child. I am who you say I am. All right.
You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am.
So let's go ahead and compare this to the master psalm writer himself, King David. So I actually pulled this at random. Psalms number 9. Well, sort of random. I flipped through a little bit. So let's check out Psalms 9. I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. Okay.
Sounds like something Rich Mullins would sing. I'm sorry.
It's still a bit Hillsongy, right?
I hear Rich Mullins, but
okay. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praises to thy name, O thou most high. Okay, that's a bit more Hillsongy.
No, still hearing the Rich Mullins in there.
But check this out. Then we get to when my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou statest in the throne, judging right.
'Tis that where they get, I am, you are for me, not for against me. That's where they get that part. I'm sorry.
But the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in his righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. The Lord will also be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. I feel like...
Are we saying we're impressed by the scripture or impressed by the song?
So, I'm just comparing, contrasting. So, honestly, this is probably one of the better Hillsong Worship songs I have heard. I'll give it that.
I mean, I kind of liked the older stuff.
But in recent times.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it that.
But compare a lot of their songs, like this one in particular, it's still pretty vague. It's just oh God, you love me, and I am who you say I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm forgiven, not forsaken.
Whereas
you get into like David's stuff, and he's very direct. He's like, you will smite my enemies, oh great and mighty God.
Smite me, oh great smiter.
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing a poor comparison, but I feel like
no, because
the lyrics are not personal enough.
I feel like the only part that gets personal enough is like where it says, "Who the Son sets free is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am." That's the only part that I really feel like makes it the Christian song. Because like if you think about it, if you listen to the first part. Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? But you could change that immediately to like, who am I that this handsome dude would welcome me?
Justin Bieber?
Yeah, Justin Bieber, you know? Who am I that Justin Biebs would welcome me? Okay, that just sounds weird. I don't know. I'm just saying that a lot of it is just not like, really, it's not. It's
I say all that to say, I like personal lyrics. And I feel like this does lack the personal... Mm-hmm. You know,
but at least this song isn't as corporate.
Yeah, it's not.
At least
like I said, it's one of their better ones.
It's an individual song because the whole thing is, self. When I say self-centered, I mean like directing to ourselves rather than saying, "Oh, this congregation." Not that that's wrong. Corporate worship's good.
Yeah,
but personal worship, it gets personal in that sense, but it's not like very deep. Like David would have, been like, "Oh, you will smite my enemy," but
obviously that's going to sound weird coming out of our lips in modern audiences.
Oh, yeah. Who am I that the highest king would smite thee?
Yeah. I don't know, but not a horrible song, but not. It's just so run of the mill. It just I would like to hear better. On music and lyrical fronts.
Come on, Hillsong. You did so much better before.
Alright. Any last thoughts on this?
Oh, no.
Okay.
He's just going to destroy my comment.
No, seriously. Just say it, and then we're going to move on to the next thing.
You were talking about earlier how, this was just a few minutes ago, about personal. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, like, personal? Like, do you mean, like, the Gaither music, kind of like how they do, like, tell a story? Kind of, about someone.
Yeah. We can go with that.
Like
that. There you go. I agree with you, buddy.
He's alive. They talk about, everything happening before he came back alive, and then like at the end, it was just a long intro before they actually sung "He's Alive" in the song.
To a degree, I also think of, how does this apply to your life at the moment? I will go to my go-to answer. David Crowder Band's "Let Me Feel Your Shine." Right, one of my favorite lyrics from that song, it's one of my favorite lyrics from them ever, is, I lift a knife to the thing I love most, praying you'll come so that I can have both. Mm-hmm. An obvious reference to Abraham, but also, that's very personal because the band was getting ready to break up, and he's like, I'm ready to sacrifice this for you, God, but I'd rather not.
Kind of like the whole Jesus shebang, like, take this cup, but if it be thy will, I'll drink it.
But it's like, it's a personal lyric, Whereas these lyrics, for better or for worse, are very vague, and they could apply to anyone in any situation.
Well, let's put it this way. And it can apply to anyone in any situation, but if you're like Hillsong mainly writes their music for Sunday morning worship. Or Sunday morning worship.
Sunday morning, Sunday night, whatever.
Well, it's not really much.
But church,
there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Corporate worship, yeah. But so, in that sense, this would be, because, you don't just walk through I don't ever find myself walking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, thinking, who am I that the highest king would welcome me? But when I walk in a church, and, there's that whole atmosphere going on, it does become personal. Because, you start thinking about it. So I guess in that sense, if they were trying to, if that's what they were directing it towards, then it'd be personal. But it's not really it's not personal in the sense that you're putting it. How music should be, like David Crowder, like you said. But, in a sense it is, but for the most part, it's not.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and give you one last example of personal lyrics, right? Keith Green. Oh Lord, you're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, you're beautiful. Your face is all I see. Okay,
That's
pretty corporate.
actually David wrote that, buddy.
No, I mean, okay, but stick with me.
Oh, okay. I was like,
But
David wrote it.
I mean, but Keith Green modernized it.
Yeah, he
right?
modernized it.
And then, but when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds
grace
to me.
abounds with me.
Right.
Or your
And then-
presence dwells in me.
So, like, okay, that's pretty corporate.
Mm-hmm.
But then he flips it. He said, "And I want to take this world." What is it?
I want to take this world and...
Something.
Or take this word and spread it all around.
Spread it all around.
Yeah.
So he flips it and takes a very corporate song and makes it very personal to him of, this is my mission.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take this word and spread it all around about how beautiful the Lord is.
What's that guy's name?
So, that's just...
That Cinderella song?
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Yeah, is it kind of like
That's
that?
personal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very personal...
That's a very personal song.
I mean, but it's not a worship song exactly.
no,
But
but it's Christian.
yeah.
It's made on the radio.
Isn't it about his wife? Or...
It's about his
It's about
daughter.
his daughters.
He got killed.
Prior to her getting killed, actually.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really kind of a sad story. He wrote that song. It became huge at the same time his daughter died.
Really?
So,
How'd she
yeah.
die?
A car wreck.
Really?
Yeah, she was like playing in the driveway and someone was pulling out in the car and hit her. It's a really sad story. Him and his wife both wrote a book about it. They're both very good books. I highly recommend them.
I will read them.
So, we say all that to say corporate worship is not horrible. I don't hate it as much as it comes off. It's just when you've heard so much corporate worship, it tends to blend together a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the bigger problem.
Yeah, it does. It just, like, when worship music started being a thing, like, I remember that. It wasn't too long ago.
It was early 2000s.
It was the early 2000s. I was barely, I was a preteen.
Yeah.
And I remember it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. I could get into that. Started writing corporate worship songs myself, and then now I'm like, it's went forever. Because
we're almost 20 years in
right.
here.
As much as I love, classic, quote unquote, classic rock changed from the 60s to the 70s, from the 70s to the 80s. And then it kind of died in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Then now it's revamping a little bit, not so much. Because rock has died. Mm-hmm. Rock and roll has died as we know it. I'm sorry.
It has.
It's gone.
I mean, for better or for worse. I mean, other genres can, come in. And there's still the rock survivors out there, right? But
right. I mean, there's still that going on. But I'm just saying, you don't hear, anybody coming out with new music now.
But how come worship music sounds the exact same it did in 1999?
Exactly.
It has not changed since Sonic
It
Flood.
hasn't. It really hasn't changed.
Delirious and Sonic Flood came in.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is I'm like, even the greatest, even the greatest kinds of music have changed every decade. Mm-hmm. And corporate worship, or just worship music in general, has just not changed. And it needs to. And I hope really quickly that we come to some sort of a shift. Because, like we were talking about last week, Christian music as we know it, record labels, it's going to be dead.
Yeah.
It's gonna die if it just keeps on this monotony. That's just how I see it. I mean, we were talking last week about how where we see Christian record or just record labels in general in 10 years or in 15 years. And I kind of predicted between 5 to 10 years that we're not going to, you're either, straight worship music or you're everything else. Even if you're still a Christian writer, you're not put on a Christian label because it's not, praise and worship enough. Because that's what we're hearing on the radio.
Kind of like with Lecrae, his Christian rap. They stopped playing his music on the radio more often, more of just other worship bands and stuff.
Right.
So.
Yeah. All right, we've wow,
we have overstayed our welcome on that segment.
Well, it's all right. It's good conversation. All right, let's move on to next subject. Whatever happened to Chris?
Family Force 5.
Chris, I know you're a big fan of these guys.
I am.
Whatever happened to Family Force 5?
So, so far, there's only 2 of them in the band right now, the brothers. Back then, they used to be called the brothers or something else, but now it's just Family Force 5. They changed it, like, you know, it evolved to that name.
Oh,
but
is it even Family Force 5 anymore?
It's FF5.
They changed it to FF5 now.
Wasn't that the same thing?
I mean, technically, it's just an abbreviation of their name.
Like, yeah, but it's not like when they're marketing, it's not Family Force 5, it's FF5.
Oh,
yeah, now they're
like, oh, come to the FF5 concert, not come to the Family Force 5. Because now it's not a Family Force, you know?
Just 2.
It's just the 2.
I mean, still 2 brothers.
I mean, yeah, but it's not a force.
FF2.
It's like the family duet.
I find Family Force 5's story interesting because they started, you know, with the 5 of them, and then it was like, you know, 3 brothers and 2 friends or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then after album number 3, which album number 3 literally called 3, where they wrote some risque music for Christian audiences. I mean, it was I mean, okay, risque in the fact that, and I do not prefer this style at all. They were objectifying women a little bit, you know, and it was kind of distasteful. After that, they kind of totally revamped as a band. Their lead singer left, went and focused on DJ stuff. Soul Glow.
Oh yeah.
Solomon Olds is his name.
Solomon?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then the drummer Crouton took over as lead singer.
Crouton. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then they got a new drummer, Hollywood. And then
Is it a girl?
No.
Oh.
And then what happened, Chris? Like how did they get down to just the 2 brothers?
They left. I just know that they went rogue.
Nate
Daddy left first. He was
the guitar player.
He left first in 2017, May of 2017. And then I don't know who left at that, but I know they're all gone. Like they all went their separate ways. You know, the drummer guy, he left. So right now it's just Fatty. Is that his nickname? I think
I'm the bass player. Yeah.
And then
Crouton.
And Crouton is the main person. Yeah.
And it's
And they still sing all the original songs. Sometimes they'll sing their original songs.
It's funny that the guitar player left in May, because I literally saw Family Force 5 in March of 2017. I saw them at the Rock and Worship Roadshow, and it was a fun show. By that point, Family Force 5 had moved a bit more into pop music, kind of a chaotic pop music, but they definitely were moving towards pop music.
Oh, is it called K-op?
No. But then, yeah, they just kind of disappeared. They tried to release one last album. It would have been album number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then record label issues, I don't know why, wouldn't let them release that album.
Well, that one should have been a self-titled album, FF5.
It had a different name, I forget what. Their record label wouldn't let them release it, and they have not done any shows since March of 2018.
It's been a legit year.
Yeah, they just...
because it's April now.
Yeah.
So
they just disappeared. So I don't know, they were an interesting group. They liked to experiment, which I appreciated. Not everyone appreciated their brand of crunk rock, but they liked to experiment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think happened to them, Chris? I mean, the Wikipedia page says nothing other than they were going to release this album, and then that's it.
Well, is that what happened? Is like they're like, oh wow, we spent all this time on this, and now they won't even release it. Like, do you think? I mean, could that be part of the whole record label thing? Because like they're like, we did this specifically to meet their requirements, but now they're not going to let us release it.
I guess Hollywood is the last person to leave because everyone else left before him.
Okay.
It says here that let me look.
Please hold.
Chapstick left first.
Okay.
And then it was Nay Daddy after that.
Don't you just love all their nicknames? It's kind of cute. Actually.
We need nicknames.
That's why our band isn't
Fat
successful, because we don't have nicknames.
Fat and homely.
Lonely.
Big and bigger.
Big and creepy.
Big and bigger and creepy. Big, bigger, and creepy. There we go.
Is that our new band name?
Could it all be big, bigger, creepy?
It's one giant word. Bigger, quickly.
Or big, creepy, bigger. Sounds like a wannabe like cuss word or something.
I don't know.
You big, creepy, bigger. Oh, wait. Now I know what that sounds like. Oops.
Moving forward.
Sorry, guys.
So there's not as much to talk about this with this one as the other whatever.
Because like
to.
it just stops. Like they cease to exist.
Like they may still be a band. I don't know. I can't find anything about them. I kind of hope. I listened to their last single, which I don't know if it was even a proper single. It got some YouTube play. Fires on the Highway. Chris, have you listened to that one?
What is it?
Fires on the Highway, their last kind of like YouTube song.
I don't think so.
It's super good, and it's kind of a sad music video. It's just them driving down a highway, and then
they're burning all their old merch.
Yeah, so like all their old Family Force 5 merchandise.
Because now it's just the two of them. They're like, oh, we miss our family.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Maybe they'll make a comeback. I don't know. I don't see them. I see them doing more of the underground thing.
Like I could kind of see them doing the whole For King and Country thing.
I just don't.
Like not that specifically, but like the whole brother duo.
I just don't see them coming back on Christian radio.
Right.
That would be.
Yeah, I don't think I'd see them on there.
I think they will. I think if they're still a band, which I'll be kind of surprised if they're still together, they'll kind of just float around the underground, play a few shows here and there, and then just kind of coast out their career that way.
Yeah. I guess, I didn't listen to a whole lot of Family Force 5, like, intentionally as a kid or...
I listened to Love Addict.
And okay.
Love Addict is good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was. I like that song.
I listened to Supersonic. That was good. Zombie was another good one. Chainsaw.
That was great.
Oh yeah.
Crank it like a chainsaw. Yeah, they you notice that their songs decreased in word count and vocabulary as they moved along.
Yeah. They're like, we got dumb nicknames, might as well have dumb naming songs.
Yeah.
Chapstick. What is that?
All right, that's
Do you want to moisturize my lips?
Their video things, like I watched a video back then of them, like why they come with the names and stuff. Chapstick, when he would like when he first came to the band, he was like always needing chapstick on. He's like chapped lips and stuff, and like your nickname is Chapstick now.
I want to know why they called him Big Daddy.
Fatty.
Oh, is he fat?
Because he was a fat kid.
Oh, he was a fat kid.
He was little. He was a fat
So he's
kid.
not fat anymore?
I don't think so, no.
But yeah, because I didn't remember there being a fat guy when I was watching the video.
Yeah, he was fat when he was a kid, though.
Oh, you were a fatty!
Crouton got the name because he really loved croutons. They're just like...
Well, he just walk around with bags of croutons.
Yeah, he ate croutons all the time. And like Hollywood, he looked like he was from like LA or California, or I think he was, or something like that. But he looked like he loved
So it's kind of just one of those things where they didn't like pick their own name. It's like as each member came into the band, they're like, "Hey, Hollywood, what's up? You weirdo." Then they become a family, and then they break up.
Hollywood was a member before he joined the band as a drummer. He was a member of Waverly, which is a totally underrated band. We shall talk about at some future point on this. They're phenomenal.
Because now we have to listen to it because you brought it up.
Yes.
Congratulations, Samuel. You have just created another task for this busy man to achieve.
All right, guys. That's Family Force 5. We talked about them far less than we talked about Hillsong Worship. That's interesting.
That's the thing is, like, they just disappeared. Dissipated into the abyss.
Kind of like this conversation.
Yeah, kind of like it.
All right.
Well.
Last topic for the night. Random topic. And random topic for the night is...
Okay, we've stalled enough. Come on.
I'm still making up a random topic.
Random topic. What is...
So, what is your favorite non-Christian Christian band?
Well...
Non-Christian Christian band.
So what I mean is... There are those bands who are either claimed to be Christian...
Chris, like Switchfoot?
No, Switchfoot still... They were on Sparrow Records.
Oh, okay. Okay, so like Lifehouse?
They were on Sparrow Records too.
I thought they were one of the options when we talked about this a while back. What a turd.
Okay.
You've taken away every reason.
So I will give you 2 prime examples. 3. So these are artists.
The Beatles and Mother Mary. Let's talk about that.
No. So what I mean is artists that were never labeled as Christian, but either had strong Christian lyrics or identified as personal Christians, but they were never on a Christian record label, right? So the examples that pop into my head are Mumford & Sons.
Oh!
Because they have very Christian lyrics, like, sincerely.
Oh, yeah, well, until, it's like this song about something that sounds like a Bible-related subject, and then there's just this sudden burst of a cuss word. Just one random time.
And they do it once now.
And they did it probably because they want to be on secular radio.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's probably the whole gist.
So,
unless, there's just that one time where he's like, I have to use that word somewhere, and might as well use it here.
I mean, and, rather or not, you should cuss in music as a whole a topic for another day. But the examples that pop in my head would be like Mumford & Sons, U2 is another popular example. And even 21 Pilots is another popular example.
Yeah, they're very... Coldplay.
Coldplay can be kind of Christian.
They've been on the Christian radio. I don't Sky Full of Stars has been on the Christian radio.
They never identified as Christians anyway, but their lyrics could be kind of Christian-ish, right?
Right.
So, what's some of your guys' favorites besides the ones maybe the ones I just said. I don't care.
Yeah, the ones you just said are all of them. There are no options. Not very many options.
I find it interesting because back in the day,
Jimmy Eats World. No,
not really.
Not really.
But back in the day, artists would just release gospel songs all the time and not think anything about it.
Bob Dylan,
he released a whole entire gospel album.
Do you know who Bob Dylan is?
Elvis Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis Presley, he did gospel. In fact, it's the only record he ever did that
we'll take that. Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash did gospel.
Oh yeah, that one song that we revamped that one time.
Yeah, he wrote hymns.
They're in our hymnal at church.
But he's Johnny Cash, right?
Johnny Cash, man. Yeah.
I mean, even some of his more popular songs, like Ring of Fire, could still be looked at as
down to that burning ring of fire.
Could be seen as a cautionary ecclesiastic.
Don't go to hell, man! Don't go! Stay with me!
Almost died there.
So, okay, Johnny Cash is a good one. What's so you're an Elvis fan, Chris?
Yeah, I like Elvis. I actually went to his mansion a few summers ago with my family. Oh, it was fun.
More with the music. What's your favorite songs?
Oh, favorite songs?
Yeah, Christian.
I mean, it doesn't have to be Christian. Just buy them. I mean, if bonus points if it's kind of Christian sounding, right?
What is it? It isn't. Oh, it's not. I don't think it's Christian. But Love Me Tender, and then Jailhouse Rock.
Is that Christian?
No.
Love Me Tender? I was like, Jesus, love me tender.
I mean, you could take it that way,
It sounds like he just, love me till I'm raw.
I've listened to his gospel songs, but I can't remember the names. Like, if you say a name, I might know what it is.
He does Amazing Grace. He does. Yeah. I don't know if he wrote his own Christian songs. I think he just took old hymns and did it.
Yeah, but he was for a very substantial space of time in his late 20s, early 30s, he was a Christian artist, quote unquote.
I mean, his limo driver did say before almost every concert, he would be in the back of his limo speaking in tongues.
I mean,
that's about as apostolic as it gets.
Yeah.
But then after the concert, you get drunk and whatnot. But let's just not go on that.
Well, I mean,
people can live dual lives like that.
Yeah, there have been a lot of times. Like, if you think about it, like a life like that's gonna drive you a little crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's really sad.
You are the king of rock.
Yeah. It's interesting. This is a bit digressing, but talking about Elvis Presley, he was much like many pop stars. He was driven to suicide, right? Or not, if not suicide directly, indirectly, right?
Right. Well,
he died of an overdose.
He died of an overdose.
You gotta use rationally red.
It was indirectly, right?
He didn't want to die dirty.
So, it's kind of sad when you think about it. It's like man was not made to be an idol. And every time they try, they fail miserably.
Exactly.
You know, you look at history, you have like the Caesars who got killed. You look at modern history, Kurt Cobain committed suicide.
Yeah.
People just can't handle being idols, and no matter how hard they try. And then you get people like, Mary-Kate and Ashley, who were teen idols, and they disappeared because they just couldn't handle the pressure, and they just wanted to be off the grid.
Well, since we're going to go, like, a band that I kind of admire, and, like, they definitely would not call themselves a Christian band whatsoever.
But do they have kind of...
Okay, well, that's the thing, is, like, you wouldn't think just listening to their songs, but I heard a interview with Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain from Journey.
Okay.
And they would the interviewer was just asking questions like, where did these songs come from? And Jonathan Cain, who wrote most of their songs, he wrote the majority of most of their songs. And obviously Neil Schon wrote the music. But anyway, Jonathan Cain was like, well, don't stop believing. Something my dad told me one time when I was a kid. He's like, I grew up Catholic, but by the time I got into school, seeing how the world was terrible, I just stopped believing in God whatsoever. And my dad, he was a priest. He's like, so one day my dad told me, don't stop believing, dude. Just don't stop believing. And he's like, so I just started writing these lyrics about, like, he said the song is about people. It's not necessarily, it's like, he's like, people take it as a love song, but it's not. It's just, he's like, what we're directing it at is you can be a man or a woman and just looking for something. So you just randomly go off looking for whatever it is that you're looking for, and you just never stop believing, and you'll find it. He said, he's like, yeah, I would say that we have a very, I had a Christian view when I was writing this song. And he talked about multiple different songs that he had written. I don't remember the rest of them that he was talking about, but I just know, like, that's one of their biggest songs. Don't Stop Believing. And he was like, yeah, I wrote it kind of with that Christian intent. So, like, you would think, and that's the thing is, like, back in, what is it, 84 when that was wrote? And that was, like, huge. Roller rinks is where that was played, and everywhere. So, like, if you think about it, like, people, is it really so much that the band isn't Christian as much as it is that we don't view the song through a Christian perspective? And because that's how I listen to music. Like, even if I know, this isn't a Christian band, if I'm listening to John Bon Jovi, I don't just, like, listen to the song because I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll listen to the song and I'll be like, can I relate this somehow to my life? Is this positive for me to be listening to? Yeah. And most of the time, yes, it is. Like, Halfway There, Living on a Prayer. There we go. That song is legitimately about, like, you got to hold on to your family, because, like, what's the verse? You got to hold on to what you got. Doesn't really matter if we make it or not. Yeah, we have each other, and that's a lot for love. Like, that's all you need for love is having each other. Mm-hmm. It's not a love song. Like, as much as people want to look at it. And that's what I was going to say. Bon Jovi, I was watching one of his interviews, behind the song. And he's like, it's mainly just about love and just being there for each other. As a people. Not like just one another. He's like, as a family, for your friends. Just a nation should be like that. He's like, that's how a nation should be. Is just hold on to what you got. Because the nation was built on good family, religious principles that we should live by.
Yeah. And I find it's an interesting point that it doesn't matter what the song is. At the end of the day, rather they mean to or not. I read an interesting article not too long ago that said all music is reflecting some part of our relationship with God. It may be, we're directly praising God. It may be we're writing about our fallen humanity by trying to write a Satan worship song and just showing how far we are from God. Mm-hmm. But every song, in some way, shape, or form, is about our relationship with God and where we are in relation to that.
Right.
Some are much...
Just every song, because if you think about it...
And I'm not saying every song is good just to go out and ingest all the time.
Definitely not. Because, like, relationship with God, every song has a part with it, because you can listen to some songs Like,
this isn't a good relationship.
This is not a good relationship with God.
Yeah.
Or this one, it's like, oh man, he has somewhat. Or, hint worship music. They have a great relationship with God. Or, whatever.
Yeah.
But every song does reflect. And I think that the reason why that is because music was made by God.
Yeah.
So, therefore, music has to represent its creator in some way.
Rather that's positive or negative, it still does it.
It always it will there's this sign that hangs up in my in my office, and it says everything you do is a every job you do is a portrait of your character, and autograph that portrait, the way you want it to. And I think that that's just how it is. When God created music, music's always going to be a portrait of the autograph,
Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
Another Christian song is Bodies Hit the Floor, because it talks about people laying in the spirit, right?
No, that's actually a very satanic song.
I know, I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's Ozzy Osbourne, isn't it?
No, that's I forget. It's some new metal band. Every time I hear that song, I just think of the Benny Hinn videos on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going to say Benny Hinn, then I thought of Ozzy Osbourne. I was like, that would be a great church. Ozzy Osbourne's the worship leader. Because he's saying, I've listened to preachers and I've listened to fools. That's all you need.
Let's just walk away. Running!
Da-da, da-da. Run.
I will say probably my favorite, these guys would not strictly be considered Christian. Really one of my favorite bands I've discovered recently. 21 Pilots is a great new band that has Christian-like lyrics. One song they have, Jumpsuit. And literally the chorus goes, jumpsuit, jumpsuit, cover me. What that jumpsuit is open interpretation, right? Some view it as God, some view it as your friends. Right.
Friends, yes.
But I like listening to it and being like, hey, it's probably talking about God. God, will you cover me?
Just depends, like that's how seriously, man. That's the advice I would give to listening to music in general, is just feel the spirit. Mm-hmm. Like the Bible says, test the spirit. Mm-hmm. And it's not talking about testing God. Yeah. That's not the spirit it's talking about. You do not test God ever. Okay, trust me. Just don't. The spirit it's talking about is the spirit of the spirit of the object, or the spirit of whatever is coming. You're receiving, because the spirit of some songs that are written by quote unquote classic rock artists. Very good. Some of them very not good. Yeah. There's this song, I forget who it's by, but it's called Hotel California.
That's the Eagles.
The Eagles. Not good song. It's it just depends how you look at it.
But
because it could be good, because what it is saying is essentially oh yeah, there's this guy and he's so happy, and he showed up at this place, it was nothing but a party, and he's oh, blah blah blah, and he's but then when he went to leave, he just could not find the door, and he said, have a good trip to Hotel California, you can come when you want, but you can never leave, because this essentially Hotel California is hell,
or drugs,
well, because you can leave drugs, you can't leave hell.
But it's saying how hard it is to leave drugs, maybe?
They're saying there's no way possible to leave Hotel California in the song.
Neither here nor there.
But I'm just saying, when I listen to that song, it just depends.
But if you listen to it, it doesn't set well with you. And
it doesn't. That song doesn't set well with me. Because what if it is talking about drugs? That's just how I feel about it. There's just that creepiness about the song.
And I think this raises even the better point. You should never just listen to music passively.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's Christian music or not Christian music. Don't just listen to music passively. You should look at the lyrics, look at the message.
Well, see, that's the only thing that makes music good, is making it personal.
But a lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to passively ingest it.
Yeah, they just want to throw on, let's listen to some music, but then do their... I feel like listening to music should be an intention. You know what I'm saying?
There is some music I will just throw on just to chill. Stephen Curtis Chapman's one of my
Exactly.
go-tos.
But see,
but
that's
I've listened to that intently before,
right.
you know?
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, if you're listening to something new, like, don't just walk in and grab an album and be like, oh, it's music. Just go throw it in and just be like, oh, it's good stuff. No, look at the album or, you know, whatever is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, this is interesting. Listen to it. Like, listen to the lyrics. Put on the closed captions, you know?
Yeah, like, even just listening, what does this music make you feel? Why does it make you feel this?
Right. Just, like, make a list. Like, write stuff on a chart. No,
Like
just self-evaluate, guys. Just, if you're feeling it, like, if you're getting a positive vibe from the music, go with it. But if you're not, just, like, one thing I'll do, step away. But also, like, if you can, like, if you're listening to the music, and you're like, oh, this gives me a good vibe, but there's a part of it that's unsettling, see if that song is telling you something about your life that, you know, maybe this song can help you change or progress a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's just something I do. I don't know. I've been into music for so long now that it's just it is uncanny the way my mind thinks. I can't think about anything correctly that I need to, but when it comes to music, I can listen to it and I can think about it all day.
Sorry, Chris, you were saying earlier.
Wait, were you talking earlier?
No, I was at the point out at Hotel California. Like, it's in the name, like, you know, it's California, so I mean it's really hot. So you're saying it talks about hell. You know, it's kind of California's hot. You know.
Well, see, like I feel like also I don't know if they were talking about actual California, but like I feel like they were kind of like putting that. Maybe they were talking about that spirit of Hollywood, you know, like that fake spirit that makes everybody, you know, think that, oh, their life could be better, but really it's just leading you into a darker place of depression. Because, like, once you start, like, modeling yourself after these people in Hollywood, like, these people in Hollywood, they'll come out years later, like Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
How depressed he really was, and nobody would ever be able to tell that.
That's sad. Yeah.
And then, like, you know, oh, it finally comes out after he's dead, and the doctor's like, oh, yeah, he was depressed. I gave him medicine, you know.
Like Chris Farley was, too.
Yeah.
Chris Farley,
He dealt with drug overdose.
Well, that's what he did. He overdosed and stuff. And he did intentionally.
And the only person who truly knew it was Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is the one who tried to help him get off of it, and then, like, maybe a few weeks later or a month later or whatever, like, he found him in his hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad. So we went much deeper and more off topic on that than I intended to.
Whoa, we are just about over. we are about 17 minutes over time.
But it's all right. That was good conversation.
Good. You can upload this to YouTube still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, any last comments, concerns, questions?
No. Not at all.
Nope.
Cool. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. If anyone happens to listen to this and likes it, let us know. You know, and feel free to add to the conversation. Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Let your voice, let your opinion be heard. Because if your argument, your opinion, your faith, as it were, can't hold up to scrutiny, then what's the point of having it? And we are Brothers King. Keep being that glimpse of eternity.
And Chris.
Hopefully Chris becomes like a full member.
Technically he is Brothers King.
Yeah.
He's our photographer.
Yeah, he's just part of us. Alright guys, keep being that glimpse of eternity.
You are the videographer.